up the tempo. Shawty got no choice but to get low. Ain't the tallest, but I'm ballin' like I'm 6'4". Yeah, the life I live, I was meant for. It's simple, if we up the tempo. Shawty got no choice but to get low. Ain't the tallest, but I'm ballin' like I'm 6'4".
Old school, new school. You know what it is. You know who it is.
OG Lee in the house. Once again. Thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Hey, it's UND, old school, new school, OG Lee in the house.
November 26th.
November 27th,
2024.
2024.
Getting ready for some Turkey Day, man.
Turkey Day coming up.
Yes, indeed, man.
Episode 52.
52.
And the Turkey Day is definitely coming up.
52.
The Turkey
Better known
Day
as 52.
Coming up. How you feel about that, man?
I don't know, man. It's always mixed feelings around that time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Brings back old memories. And sometimes that's, you know, it's a tearjerker. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But it's some good stuff about it, even though I hate turkey, man.
I was about to say, do you have a favorite food?
Man, I'm down with the turkey salad the day after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anything that stand out on the OG Lee, you know, Thanksgiving lineup though?
And I don't know, man. I'll tell you, like, my mom used to just always do the best food, man. So my wife, you know, your mom cooks good.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a few, you know, I do the sweet potato pie. The typical collard greens, the macaroni and cheese, you know, the whole nine. But it ain't nothing like your mama's. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. Because I feel that way about my mama cooking, man.
I'm glad I didn't have to grow up eating Grammy's cooking. Shout out to Grammy, but Grammy, nah. Not even on when she was young. Nah.
No Grammy dish?
No, man, not even one, man. Bless her heart.
I could rock with some salmon croquettes. I can't give Grammy that.
I can rock with your moms, but Grammys, I think sometimes people cook, they don't know how much salt they put in shit, man. And they be eating it just fine. You start eating, you be like, God damn, it's that kind of shit that you be ready to drink. Be ready to drink a beer in the morning thinking it's like one of them, you know, you're like, damn, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't want no beer, but this salty shit,
get
God damn. But yeah, man.
That's that old school, though.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they put they cook with a lot of sugar and a lot of salt.
Good and bad. Oh, those salmon croquettes.
Let's get a little toast.
Give a little toast. Hey, to the toast, man.
52.
Because I'll say my mental health, I got to tap in.
Okay, just go ahead. I didn't ask you, but go ahead. Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm telling you.
I want to know, man.
I'm emo you in the
I
today,
wants
man.
to know, man. Tell the folks.
My mental health, I'm really fighting right now to you know what I mean? Keep it positive, stay positive, and it's a tough thing to do, man. And life ain't always sweet, man. It's what you make it.
That's what they said, man. Life ain't no crystal stair. Do you know who that was?
I heard that one. No,
that's brother Langston Hughes, man.
Langston Hughes.
I don't even want to ask you on the air if you know about Langston Hughes. My God.
I'm familiar.
Oh, my God. Let me see who this is, man. Because I've done some online stuff before.
Who's that?
Oh, my goodness.
Who is it?
Let's see. Hello? Oh, my goodness. Who is this? Hey, I'm going to call you right back, okay? All right. You know, I thought that was MJ, the way it said Mayfield like that. That was one of the baby grands, man. That was one of the baby grands.
Calling in.
Calling, man, yeah.
Oh, the jiggity. I
just get so excited, man, when I hear from my grandkids. Because at first, it's like, damn, they can't even talk. Now they can pick up the phone and dial and shit.
And give a call out.
Oh, my God.
Oh, a beautiful thing.
But so I was talking about President Trump today, man, because I saw on TV, man, this guy, this is his second term, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he learned some stuff from the first term, because he's like getting all of his cabinet all down, man. He even got a brother in there now. I was first saying, no, he ain't get no brothers. But he tapped some brother for the Department of, like HUD shit, like or whatever, Housing and Urban Development, typical shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a brother in there for that. And yeah, he getting his shit, he getting his ducks in a row, man. So that when
what's the move? He's getting the ducks in the row, then what's going to be where they step
January
into?
comes, this guy gets inaugurated, they going to hit the ground running. And I'm interested and I'm anxious to see, man, what's going to happen, because you got these guys he's putting in place, like they all down with him, and they want to run the country like a business. You know what I'm saying? And so they gonna look at it like I said last episode, man. They gonna clear the house. They gonna clean the house, man. And so I'm interested to see how that does. In terms of me just thinking about politics, as I've studied it from looking on, just to see kind of this presidency, this happened. It came in. Wow. From that came, them laying off a lot of people. Then there was big fucking riots and whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm more interested to see what's going to happen when they make their moves and shit. Because everybody's not going to agree with the shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When has the House been like that previously?
I think during Obama. You know what I'm saying? But this is the thing. They only got 2 years to do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they're going to hit the ground running. You only usually have 2 years. And then by that midterm, boom, they'll vote, some of the politicians out and level it out. But now they got everything, they're going with it. But I really want to see, because this is the first time they're going to really look at shit and talk about deep cuts, right? And the people that, a lot of them he's bringing on, they're not that, old guard. You know what I'm saying? They got nothing down with the politics, and they want reform. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, man. It's going to be some historical shit that's going to be done, man, for real. Very, very
happening
historical.
right before our eyes, man.
Yeah.
I saw a shout out to Pally. I don't know if the last time we tapped in, but
Who that?
Free Pally. They're saying a ceasefire is happening.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting thing too, man. They said there's going to be a ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah. But what's interesting about that, if you've been paying attention to that, you notice that all of the things they were saying that was really being aggressive and winning was Israel, right? Mm-hmm. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
They weren't telling you anything about Hezbollah. So they're fighting someone, but yet there's nothing that the enemy gained on them at all. They're doing a ceasefire because they were getting their asses kicked when they tried to go farther. You know what I'm saying? They've been already waiting for them to come. They knew they couldn't come. Then they started, when they started fucking with Iran, and they started shooting off some stuff, people realized all of that shields they've been telling you they don't have all that shit. Because I don't know what shields they talking about that could just stop all of the goddamn missiles. They've been telling the people a lie all of these years. So that shit they start shooting over to them, that started really fucking with them. They're like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Because you notice they never said anything about Hezbollah getting, gaining too much ground.
Hardly anything.
Now they want a ceasefire now because they've come to the point where they can't go on any farther. You seen what they did before? They was just slaughtering everybody, right? Mm-hmm. They got to the point where they couldn't go no farther. They start putting it on their ass. That's why they start telling them about this, that, and then all of a sudden there's a ceasefire. They're the ones getting their asses kicked now.
Is that like a Trump influence? How it happened as far as the timing of it, or not so much?
Well, right now they know that Trump's going to shut all of that down. Not just because it's Trump, but most of them fighting now, they know that shit don't really make everybody money. It fucks up, it kills people, all this type of stuff. They don't really want to do that.
Yeah.
That's in the nature of politics. But Trump is going to be, because notice Trump didn't do no wars. There was no wars during his time. He's like, man, what the fuck you want wars for? Wars, you can't make money during war. He's a business person, right? Who the fuck wants to do bombs except the people who make them? Other than that, other people, shit are moaning. The people are moaning and shit. People, their families getting killed and all this type of shit. So both of those wars are going to end. You know what I'm saying? They're going to get out of Ukraine and they're going to stop that Middle East shit because it's bullshit. And it trips me out all the time is that the black people They don't realize that most of the wars are under the Democrats all the time. And you can look at it as it's going through live and just they still can't be convinced. It's the Democrats who start wars all the time. And it doesn't help when your son got to go over somewhere and fight for people who hate you. That makes no sense to shit, man. Because that's certainly how the people are in Israel towards black people. So why in the hell would you think you'd ever go over there fighting for some damn Israelis?
Hate them all over.
Shit, and I know I wouldn't go nowhere for no fucking Ukrainians. Ukrainians are full of them motherfuckers like Hitler with the damn, what you call them shit with the swastikas and shit like that. The Nazis, yeah. Do your research. Them motherfuckers are full of Nazis, the fucking Ukrainians that we're helping. And anybody who hears this shit, they know exactly.
Over there helping.
So you gonna end up helping motherfuckers who hate you. But that's the way it is if you decide to join the Army, Air Force or Marine.
I wonder if there's any stories like that.
About what? The Nazis?
Like, no, like racist, like present day. Like a racist Ukrainian, like.
Shit, that's what the Ukrainians are.
But I'm saying, like, you know, a soldier right now have, like, can attest to.
Oh, like I promise you there's many. Listen, this is one thing that's wrong with black people. Mm-hmm. Didn't you see when the war first started and everybody was trying to get out and they was loading the trains? Didn't you see what they did to the black people? Black people don't learn. They got no love. They got no love. You saw exactly. It was like, whoa, you niggas ain't getting on here before us. And that shit even came to violence. They being violent against black women and shit like that, throwing them off the train. But yeah. And then we turn right around. Oh, yeah, here comes the Navy and the Air Force with these niggas helping and shit. But yeah, that's what that is.
You know? Crazy.
We don't think about that shit. What you thinking about? I need to get out of the ghetto and shit before I get killed or something. That's why you join the Army. Most niggas ain't joining the Army because they patriotic. You know, they know that. So they give them a hard time back home. Shit, they got to join the military.
Shout out to Julie.
Shit.
Come on. Shout out Mama Bear.
Yeah, man. But anyway, I was thinking about the Bitcoin watch.
Talk that bit, man. Come on. Talk that bit.
It didn't do it, man.
It didn't hit that?
It did not hold over the weekend.
Where did it get to? 95?
99.5. And it couldn't hold. It came back down after the weekend, hit 94, and then it just kept boom, 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 tumbling from there. But I love it, man. I love that because that's what you want to see. If you remember me saying, you don't want straight up. You want some capitulation.
Come on, it's got to capitulate a little bit.
And so now it's doing the perfect thing. It's setting up perfect, you know, because that's the way money gets made. And see, just like I'm watching what's going to happen politically, you can be watching what's happening with the money, right? So let's just say that you saw this 100,000 mark coming, right? And you had your friend, your uncle, your cousin, they talking about this Bitcoin. And you said, I'm going to get in. I'm finally going to do it. It's almost at 100,000. Everybody's talking up about it. I think it's going up, right? So you said, man, I got this $5,000. I'll put it in some Bitcoin finally, right? Mm-hmm. You put it in and you get in 99,000. Next day it goes up to 99.5. You're like, oh, you're all happy with them. They told you to get their Bitcoin. The next day, 99.4. Ooh. You ain't sweating it. You still up.
You still got a little bit of your 5.
Next day, or really not even the next day, because Bitcoin is moving every minute. But let's just say you checked it the next day. It's 99.2. No big deal. Next day you check it, 94. Right? Now, you got in at what? 99. Right? So it goes down to 94. Then today you look at it, boom, it's down to 92 before we came on, right? So what typically happens is somebody who just gets into that and they just get their feet wet, when that thing plummeted down to 92 or 91,
heart drop, you done.
You know what they did? They cut and ran. 99% of the time, that's what they did. Because it was a shock to them. All of a sudden, it was going up, and then boom, I saw it go down like that. You're going to think the world is falling. If you're a new investor, right? And that is what the seasoned investor wants. Because down at 91, they'll start buying it. They'll start buying it at a lot of prices, but certainly at 91 where you want to sell it. Because you know, you got scared. And that's what will happen 98% of the time.
They
and so
know
that's
about
how
that
the market
capitulation.
goes. That's how the market goes. People bought it when they decided, I lost $500 real quick or whatever. They're going to sell. Somebody's picking it up at those levels, right? Mm-hmm. Next week, it'll be back up and they'll be kicking themselves. But that's how the market goes. So you sold it, somebody bought it. Somebody bought it, you sold it, whatever the case may be. It's going back and forth. Bang. But you got to hold it. That's what it's going to do. It's go up and down, up and down, up and down. And if you're holding it for the long term, you're just sitting back waiting because you love it when it dips like that. That brings more people in, And more, we come into institutional people coming in. Bitcoin's not going anywhere. You just got to hold on. When you see it going down like that, if you got more, pile on. Otherwise, just watch it. And next week sometime, it'll be back up. A lot of people will have sold from fear, thinking that, listening to the noise, thinking that the whole world is falling. Nothing's happening. This is a very healthy dip. Let's go Bitcoin. Same thing with
capitulation, baby.
Just a little bit, man. And you see what happened with we were talking about Core Scientific as well as MicroStrategies. Both of them took a hit since Bitcoin took a hit. Microsoft maybe off like 12% today, which is an example of how volatile it is. A lot of people see it like that. They cut and run. You got to stay the course, baby. Stay the course, man.
Got to see that through.
See it through. But yeah, so that's what's going on with that. November 26th, 92,570 on the Bitcoin. Just keep a record.
That's a nice record right there, talking that bit. But say for a rookie investor, right, you take that hit. How long do you see it through? Or, how do you establish an end goal, like before you get in, or,
Exactly. Yeah, you start, am I long-term on this or am I short-term? And then the biggest thing, which is why most people fear and cut and run, they ask themselves, could I afford to lose this money? And most of the time they can't, but they got in because of what? Yeah, because of greed. So that's what makes them cut and run so quick, because it goes down. Boom, they lose $500 right quick. They went from $5,000 to $4,500. So, oh man, I better get out of this thing. You know what I'm saying?
Get my ass on out.
Couldn't afford to lose it necessarily, and then didn't stay with your theory. You know what I mean? So like your theory is what you, as you said, what are you getting in for? When are you getting out? That kind of thing, right? So when you're in it, to answer your question, it is to stay until your theory lives out. You know what I'm saying? If you
no matter how long.
If you put a price on it or if you put a time on it, and then if you had a reason to go into Bitcoin, right? Why would you go into Bitcoin before real estate? Why would you go into Bitcoin before gold? Why would you go into Bitcoin before cars? Why did you go into Bitcoin? You know what I'm saying? So you stay into it or get into it first from a theory, and then you stay, based on it fulfilling your theory. You know what I'm saying? And then you stay until your theory is reached and get out, right? So your theory usually is that, hey, Bitcoin, it maybe is a new thing that everybody's going to be using for settlements. It's easy, it's quick, it's less expensive than regular cash. Other countries are using it. They're starting to use it as a reserve currency. Whatever your theory is for using it. And then if you've got a price coupled with that, when it hits that price, get out.
Get on out of there.
That's what happens in Vegas all the time, right? You hear people, I made so much money. Oh, then I lost it. Once you up, man, realize that shit, I'm not going to keep hitting licks like this. Let me take some off the table or either get out, period. Very, very important to know when to take some off the table. Very wise word.
You got to know when to fold them.
Know when to hold them, know when to fold them. Know when to walk away, and know when to run. Because you never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. Hey, you don't know nothing about that.
Who talk that talk?
Yo, we used to have to listen to that type of shit coming up, man. Trying to tell people.
I ain't nowhere to the table.
Listen to that type of shit, man.
How's it coming out? That's kind of the vibe I just got. You got to know when to cut and run.
That's real talk, though. With anything. Even you could be in the throwdown and shit. You got to know, yo, these niggas got me now. I have to fight, be able to fight another day. I got to run.
You got to fight and flight.
Yes, man. Fight before flight.
Fight before flight. Now, let me ask you this. Would you rather take on a pack of Red Fox? 12. It's going to be 12 of them. A pack of Red Fox.
Red Fox.
Or
Sanford and Son.
Or a pack of ferrets.
Man.
12. Either way, you got it.
either one of them I see, I'm gonna get me some gas real quick and light a fire. I hate those kind of fucking animals.
Okay, so
yeah, that's the first thing I'm gonna do is light those motherfuckers.
A ferret, a pack of ferrets.
Ferret to me is just like a rat, basically.
Or a pack of red fox are coming at you. You're gonna think you're gonna run to get some gasoline?
Where am I gonna be? Where I'm gonna run into these 12 ferrets or these 12 foxes?
I'm not thinking there's gasoline.
But anyway, I'm saying that because that's just how I just really hate. Foxes. I don't mean, but a ferret to me is like a rat. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I detest rats so much that's the first thing I just think. Let me burn them or something. Even though rats, man, they are so resilient. Yeah, boy, you could, man, shit. You ever seen the movie Ben or Willard?
Shout out Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Oh, his song anyway was on the movie Ben, but Willard was the first movie about the guy who had trained rats, and his head rat was Ben, and then there was a white one named Socrates, and in his basement was gazillions of rats. And
I'm trained up.
He had a boss that used to mess with him all the time. He took his rats over to the boss's party that he was having. Let all these rats out into the boss's house, into this big party he was having with all of his posh friends and shit like that. And he would do whoever pissed him off, he put his rats on him and shit.
And this is Ben?
Then ultimately he wanted to get rid of the rats. And he was not able to because Ben was so smart now that Ben saw that he was trying to kill him and then turned on him. You know what I'm saying? And they ultimately
gang.
But there was another movie that came after that was called Ben. Willard, I think the first one was called Willard or something like that. And then the second one was called Ben because they thought that Ben was killed. They came in and tried to exterminate all these rats with fire hoses, fire, and all this type of shit. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of the Willard movie, it went to Ben, and when everybody thought he was dead, you just kind of saw him all kind of fucked up, but kind of like still breathing, as if to say, these motherfuckers didn't kill me. Then they came with the sequel, which was Ben.
What year? These 80s?
I don't know. This was had to be early, maybe even the late 70s. Yeah. It had to be, in the early 70s, as a matter of fact, I would believe. Mid or early 70s and shit, yeah.
That's it.
But yeah, man, that was
what was it? They were kind of like eat them alive type of deal, or?
Oh yeah, and somebody was telling me, the way they train those rats to be on the people like that is they smeared peanut butter on them, and that just attracted the rats and made it look like they were eating them, in real life.
Give them a little nutty,
but
flavor.
It was just disgusting of a fucking movie, man. If you don't like rats, very fucking disgusting. Yeah, man.
I wonder if there's been a rat movie since.
I don't know, because that would seem like to me a hard thing to do as far as the production.
Oh, come on now. You know how AI and all that new age
you ain't have no. Oh, you mean now? But yeah, they ain't have no AI back then, so that was probably a real kind of costly production. But it made its money because enough people went and saw it, and then of course it's in syndication now. But yeah, man. November 26th. We get ready to get some cold weather next week, man. We get ready to go into the freezing posture.
You kind of showed its head a little bit today.
Yeah, I think in the Northeast it's already snowing.
I believe it.
I think so, man.
We had a little touch of a 30-ish this morning, if I'm not mistaken.
You eat deviled eggs, man? I was thinking about that when you was talking about the go-tos for Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, I didn't even give mine.
Deviled eggs too, man.
Give me some of those yams.
Man, what do you bring to the Thanksgiving? Do you make anything or bring anything?
Nah, I was thinking that I do need to have a little something.
Yeah, that they remember every year. My daddy cooks this, my uncle cooks this, my son cooks
signature,
this.
Yeah,
some shit. Not no whip up, no shit like no Jello and shit like that. I was thinking
like some ribs. I've been working on a little rib recipe.
Okay, ribs. I guess ribs could go with Thanksgiving.
Come on, whatever can come to Thanksgiving, man. Mm-hmm. You bring what you got up in there.
It's a trip though. Like Thanksgiving goes way back, right? And Thanksgiving for black people, I guess, say in the 18th century, right? When you were still slaves. I mean, what the fuck was that? You know what I'm saying? And so then after you get out of slavery, you still celebrate Thanksgiving. And I'm gonna ask you, and then I guess I could ask 10 other motherfucking people at random. What's the basis of Thanksgiving?
If I'm not mistaken, it's like the Pilgrims, I believe.
go any further.
Breaking bed.
Don't go any further, man. It's like that. So that's what I wanted. You know, just that's what everybody's going. It's like something like to do with like pilgrims and
the break offering of I guess like
you've heard of Plymouth Rock. They landed on Plymouth Rock.
Nonsense. Like that doesn't make sense from other stuff. I've heard slaughter and all kind of stuff like that.
The first slaughter?
No, I said I've heard of slaughters of certain indigenous groups and smallpox blankets, perhaps distributed.
But was that any kind of related to Thanksgiving though, like the smallpox?
You know, because in my mind, I was thinking it was like the commemoration of like the people coming together, like pilgrims and like the indigenous people giving like gifts and give me a breakdown.
I don't. To be honest,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm thinking that it was to celebrate. I guess these pilgrims actually coming to America and landing. I guess it had something to do with Plymouth Rock.
In my mind, it was like
coming to America.
The Native American people here. Mm-hmm. They had like kind of like a giving or what, like broke bread type shit.
Yeah, see, we've went through this celebrating for a long time, you know, like my family or whatever. But nobody ever asked, like, why are we even doing it? It's just a good time. Hey, it's shit for the adults.
It's culture.
You know,
that's
beer,
a part of culture.
This and that. You got all of the Thanksgiving. You got this or that. So for us, especially as we were younger, we a lot of times didn't know nothing about it except they showed us some shit in school, made little turkeys or whatever, put them on the window. But we never really got a good understanding of it. And we never from home, we sat down and was like, hey, this is the day that blah, blah, blah. So we just always thought of it as a cultural, holiday. Hey, it's Thanksgiving. People off of work. People out of school.
Show your thanks.
Let's have a good time. But I'd be interested to ask these 10 Americans at random to see the different stories that you get,
It's going to be pilgrims and Indians in harmony, I swear. Or Native Americans.
It could be it. I didn't know about the Native Americans.
But they probably will say Indians because that's what the words that we're talking.
Oh, yeah. I really didn't tie too much with the Indians, and I'm sure they mentioned the Indians. But I just always thought about Thanksgiving, pilgrims, like you said, and I thought they landed on Plymouth Rock. Mm-hmm. Showing my ignorance here. They landed on Plymouth Rock, and every year they studied. Every year they celebrated the fact that they came from, I guess, Europe or wherever the fuck they came from and landed here, whatever. But I think now that you say it, that the Indians have something to do with it.
That's what I'm saying,
but
bro.
This is
it's
the
like
thing,
they broke bread in harmony.
Wherever there's Indians that they don't show, at least on our media or whatever, like the Indians that are still here, they don't show them like really show them what the Indians are doing during Thanksgiving, right? Since that's so much a part of it.
Also call them Indians is kind of fucked up because they're not from India. They're the Native Americans. Yeah. I mean, and I swear about in that Thanksgiving story, and that has taken precedence. Yeah. Like they came in here on like a journey, and then they got here, and there was like harmony and ceremonious, like we give you food, you give us food.
Yeah. Americans like we take your women. I know that's the first. We take your women, right?
Yeah, we'll take Pocahontas with us.
They traded. We take your women. We give you strong drink.
And there's like,
and the Indians hate that shit to the day, boy.
Unless I'm
Indians
wrong.
Are some fucking drunks, man.
Native Americans, bro. I'm not
Native Americans.
This.
Like I said, at that time, just like when the words retarded or this, they change as you go on. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you.
No, I got you.
I don't keep up with all of it to say, oh, now they call them Native. That's not what slips off of my tongue. What slips off of my tongue is Indians. I don't mean to offend them. That's what they were called. Yeah. At some point, just like I don't say African American off the slip of my tongue. I say black people.
I feel like Indians in their comparison could be like an N word with the hard R.
Well, I don't know what they call themselves. I don't think they call themselves Native Americans. They just know they were here, but I don't know what they call themselves. I'd be willing to call them whatever they call themselves. I just don't know. I was calling them Indians or whatever.
That's what I think. I feel like you disrespect them.
These damn Indians, a lot of them are drunks, man.
The ones from India? Or
no, the Native Americans. Oh, yeah, okay. And that's one of the things they hated the white man ever did, man, was gave them a strong drink. Because they cannot, a lot of them can't handle it, man. And they show it now. A lot of them are destitute. And they had it where the liquor store was like soon, and there was nothing else going on in the town. Town was like damn near barren where they are at. Mm-hmm. Liquor store was like right as soon as you walk out of their they lived in what was amounting to like trailer parks, right?
Where is this?
As soon as you walk, it was like, I don't want to say Oklahoma, but they're in several places, right?
Accurate.
And several of the reservations, which is why I'm saying is several of the reservations, the majority of the men are drunkards because there's no nothing going on their reservations like for them to get jobs, right? So they living really destitute. I think they get a stipend or whatever from the government, but a lot of them, they said, like you see blacks sometimes, man, as soon as the liquor store opens, they're right there to the point where at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, they all laid out drunk on the shit. They had a thing on 60 Minutes on their shit. And not that you could believe everything from 60 Minutes, but you could see that some of this shit is real. And then they interview like they do, like the more educated ones, and they start telling you all of the problems that it stems from and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, big alcohol, man. Big alcoholism on the
and they usually have them like right outside of the little reservations, huh?
Yeah, and they had one of the places that it was a trip because it was on the state border. And you didn't have alcohol on this side of the border. But as soon as you get on the other side of the border, which is what they were living by too, on another one of them, as soon as you get to the border, right across was the liquor stores. And they would all, go to the liquor store, even though they couldn't buy it where they were from, but just go right across the border there. And that's the first thing they had were liquor stores before you got to anything else. But yeah, a lot of Native Americans are alcoholics, bro. Yes, indeed. They just, it was like a hopeless people. You know what I'm saying? Once the American came and took him out of his nature, then it was like, shit, what do we do now? They tried to Americanize us. That didn't necessarily work. What do we do now? And so that, dilemma really made them, turn into alcoholics. Like a lot of black men, man. When we was growing up, shit, every black man in my family was an alcoholic. Toast. It was, because that was just a part of the culture. You go on trips, I be laughing so much now when I be hearing them always saying no drinking and driving. Because when you went on a family trip and shit like that, man, they always had a bottle drinking while they was driving and shit. Nobody, thank God, never even had a close call.
No seatbelts.
But driving was like a part of drinking damn near with the men who I was around. Yeah, now there was no emphasis on no seatbelts. They had them, I think. I'm sure they had, but I never really saw nobody put on no seatbelt. But again, nobody never had any
different times, man.
Yeah.
I feel like the cars were even more secure. Like
what now?
No, back then.
Yeah, because they were fucking metal. You know what I'm saying? And did you know the story? It's an interesting story, man, about the black people that saved Cadillac.
Tell me that one.
Because you always see that when you talk about black people with Cadillacs, right?
Yeah.
Cadillac was going broke, like I think it was like the 1930s and 40s. The Cadillac company was going broke because the white people who had money, they were still falling off from the Great Depression. It was like the late 20s and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the black people, because the banks wouldn't take black people money, but black people were frugal and saving money. So the cost of the car at that time was like $3,500. And there was black people who had that money under their mattresses and all that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. And then Cadillac, maybe it had like a sale or something like that because they wanted to improve sales. And, black people started buying the Cadillacs. Black people started buying the Cadillacs. Black people started buying the Cadillacs and really made that company come out of that slumber and actually revive itself. Yeah. And for people who know, they always knew, especially going into the 60s, 70s, black people, once you had a Cadillac, that's what you was going for. You know what I'm saying? That was one of your things. Like you hear these brothers now talking about the different whips or whatever. Cadillac was the car. If you or your family had a Cadillac, you know what I'm saying? You was like high society type shit. Cadillac. Nigga got him a Cadillac. Cadillac.
So there was like one
deuce and a quarter.
One family in particular that did it, or you were just kind of saying like that black family?
No, it was even before my time, but that is literally a story. Yeah, but as you came up through the 50s or 60s, when you saw a family that had a little something, they had a, like I said, that Electra deuce and a quarter, that Electra 225, where they had like that Cadillac, and you couldn't tell them nothing.
Right.
Couldn't tell them a goddamn thing.
Been the block in the Cadillac.
Yeah, man. Yes, indeed. Cadillac.
Yes, indeed.
People didn't know that, man. But I thought about that when I was thinking about banks and loans and whatever. But there was a time where a black person couldn't take his money to the bank. So he had no choice to put it up but under the mattress to save it. And there were a lot of people who did that.
Stack it up.
Just like you'll be surprised, man, that a lot of black people who started working in the 60s, 70s, or whatever, you look at them, and a lot of them have died, but before they died, and the ones that are alive now, they got hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank, man. And they just had what most people thought were menial jobs because they knew how to, boom, clock that money on a regular.
Stack it up, slow and steady.
Mm-hmm.
Is that? I mean, of course, that's something you can do nowadays, but it's a little different on the upcome, man.
Man, it's hard now.
It's tough, man, because it's like things are expensive, bro. Just for like,
yeah, and then they program these people now to consume. Mm-hmm. So that's what makes it hard. It's like most people, you see something, you decide you're gonna get it. Am I gonna wait to pay the hell? No, I'm not waiting no payday. I put that on my credit card or whatever. I want it now.
Right. It's my money, and I want it now. Put it on whatever to get that.
And that is now. Look, you see, they say it's my money and I want it now, right? They talking about people who might have got an insurance settlement or something like that, right? And what they did at that time was got a structured settlement, right? As opposed to saying, let me get all my money up front, knowing in all likelihood I'm going to spend it, right? Mm-hmm. So, and the insurance company probably wanted to talk them into this too, because they didn't want to give up all their money at one time. So they'd say, let's do a structured settlement, right? Let's pay you $20,000 now. Let's say they owe you $50. Let's pay you $15 now and pay you $10 for the next whatever years, however it works itself out, right? And so then the people get into that and realize, damn, I need more money. Here's where these people are slick enough to realize, we'll give them that money now, and then we'll get it over that time and make that money.
We'll earn the interest off the big chunk.
But what they needed to do was keep it like that, because that's what you want to do, really. If somebody gives you a bunch of money, if you know you spend,
shout out Rockets,
you're going to spend, then what you going to do? You say, man, I don't want to get it all at the same time. Let me get it in increments so I know that I can still have some coming in. But they listen to these people, come get your money now, and they end up probably giving the people 20% or whatever it is, and they sit back and smile saying, a bunch of fools.
They throwing their shit in the stock market.
And you know who's doing that. You know who's doing that. I'm not going to say anything, but you know who's doing those
RJ buddies?
You know who even thought about bringing that to the table, because they're always thinking about ways to make money in the middle of something. But anyway, I digress.
I digress. And you digress. I'm going to
let me get me another one of these, man.
Schoolie gang.
If you're cool with me, come school with me. But when I do,
what you do?
I prefer 52.
We're going to be right back. And we are
back up on the scene. Back on the scene.
Back in action. What's
going on, man?
Man, I don't know if I finished my statement. It's a gloom a little bit day for me. You know what I mean? My morale is always there, but today it's a little lower than usual,
You need to light a fire.
Lighting a little fire right now with episode 50.
Sing. Remember that? We're still on the sing. Like I said, 50. Okay.
50.
That's 85 on that, man. 50? 50. Okay. 50.
What's 85?
85. 85, yeah. Oh, matter of fact.
Why you say that, though?
That was 85.
50?
That was my man, 85. 50. That's what you got. 52. 52.
Yeah, man. But, hey, have you still been on your juicing journey?
Man, I just made some today, as a matter of fact. I'm on apple juice. That's the one that is the most cost effective. It yields the most juice for the cost. So I'm on apple. I'm going to be on apple for a minute until watermelon comes back.
The apple. That's going to be a good little minute, man.
Well,
straight apple
they doing now, man. They growing shit faster nowadays. Have you ever noticed that? Yeah. Everything has got these hormones to grow faster. I saw a chicken yesterday that looked like a midget. Big old chicken.
I saw a chicken doing some bench press.
Yeah,
he stood up and he had on like fish stick shoes.
Hey, these chickens nowadays, man, I don't know what Tyson is doing with them, but they're working them out. I think they might work out with the Razorback team.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Muscleman in the chicken
Tyson
tender.
is right up there, like in Springdale. They might work those chickens out, man. Big chickens. But really, on a serious note, those chickens are kind of too big. And I really do think that they had some help. You know what I'm talking about?
Little steroids?
Some hormones. Maybe they call them steroids with humans, but I think they inject them with some kind of hormones with the chickens.
We can make some funny like cartoon about that.
Yeah, chickens that I think they said used to take 12 weeks, to go from the time they hatched to the time you could process them. I think it's down to half now, something like that.
6 weeks?
I think something like that. Could be outrageous and I could be lying, but I think it's something like that. If nothing else, it makes people go and check it out. Yeah. But they're not going to stop eating chicken anyway, no matter what.
A month and a half, you got a fully developed chicken ready to eat?
Yeah. And you know what?
Crazy.
I think it might, yeah. That sounds like it's even pushing it, 6 weeks. But anyway, you got a healthy, big-ass chicken, whenever it is, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, or whatever. And there's got to be something in the fiber of the meat, right? And the reason I know that is because as I was telling you, when they eat the dog, back in Asian time, they would hang the dog up and beat it so that they could get that fight or flight. And right. So it's the same thing with the hormones in the chicken. You inject that in them, it gets all in there, all of their meat and all that stuff, and you're eating it. Like the Asians used to eat it as an aphrodisiac, you're eating it as an appetizer or whatever at rallies, or not rallies, but maybe rallies, but Little Caesars anyway, all of these places that have the chicken. And shit, man, it's got to be getting into you and doing something. By the way, do you have any carrots? Because it was just a recall on carrots. So
I've had some carrots that are probably need to be thrown away in my fridge currently.
They need to be recalled.
Not actively eaten.
Recalled to the garbage.
The mini ones or like the...
Both. Because we had the mini ones. I was like, oh, they didn't have the mini ones. Then they showed a picture of the mini ones. I was like, oh, shit. So you got to check the dates and all that. I just threw them away and said, why even go through it, But yeah, Doc. What's up, Doc?
But what was the recall? There was what?
Got slimy shit on them, and it was, you know how they do it. Like chicken with salmonella, whatever the fuck gets on carrots and shit. Like I said, I don't go through all of that. Once they say anything, I just throw it away, and I don't even have to worry about it anymore. I don't give a fuck what it was and all of that. And just threw it away.
On the carrot.
And now even the shit that you're supposed to be eating healthy is not good for you. You know what I'm saying?
You can't win.
What is the world coming to? We free. We free. Thank God Almighty, we's free.
We's free.
We's free. But the poison in our chicken.
I got options for you today. So we got...
Oh, wait a minute. You mean the bell is for what?
The bell
is for
is a good old indication
of a mind?
Of a mind crusher.
Mind your manners. Mind your business.
In this mind crusher today, hey, we got options.
We got options. It's good in life to have options.
Indeed.
Options.
And the options we got today is Charlie the one or so cute?
It's Charlie the one.
It's Charlie the one.
Let's do so cute. I'll take so cute for $500, Alex.
So cute for $500. Okay, OG Elite. So cute. So there's a giant, super intelligent alien dog named Sparky. And he thinks you're so cute. He wants to keep you as a pet. He'll take care of you, feed you, and cuddle with you real good. He'll also take in 4 other people, anyone you want, so you don't get lonely.
This is Sparky doing all this to me?
Do you accept Sparky's offer and abandon your life on Earth?
Where was Sparky from? I missed that part.
He's just he's a giant, super intelligent alien dog.
Bruh, I don't know what the options are, but fuck Sparky, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't fucking with Sparky.
Sparky trying to take you out some Diddy shit to a different planet, I think it's talking about. It started getting crazier and crazier as I read that one.
Nowadays, man, that even the name fucks with me, Sparky. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, I ain't fucking with Sparky. I just ain't doing it, man.
Sparky got you wilding over there just
As soon as I see a big alien dog, I'm going the other way. You know what I'm saying? Because that's white folk shit on them cars, man. Yeah. Certain things they talking about, niggas just don't do. You know what I'm saying? They just ain't doing it, bro. They ain't gonna do no dumb shit like that. So, like I said before, we got to get a new set of cards, and you got to get them from a different side of town, man. You got to get everything is divided like that. You got to get the cards even from another side of town.
You got to get the blacks only card.
Man, think of one thing that you could come up with if you had to come up with some stupid shit like that. You know, and you and 50 other people, then y'all were gonna put it in a pack like that and sell them.
What, one question, or what's the idea that just any?
Yeah, one of the little bullshits, whatever they do on there, question, a situation, whatever.
What are you saying? Come up with one off the dome?
Right off the dome.
All right. You and two, it's going to be called Brew Stand. You and 3 of your friends are coming up with a new beer. But the beer's a hit. No one knows the secret formula inside the beer except for you and your 3 friends. The secret serum is actually saliva, a little bit of feces, and urine. Do you and your friends tell the secret recipe?
It's supposed to be a beer?
It's already a beer. A very successful beer. Best in the town.
Who are the people that's buying the beer?
Townspeople. All the townspeople, they love it. It's a hit.
Black people buying this beer?
Mm-hmm.
You a damn liar, man. You a damn liar. Black women buying it? I know you're lying.
Black women.
You know black women drink beer, right?
Do they?
Yeah, of course.
But
they not drinking this beer. It's got too many funky things in it. It's got too many funky things in it for a black woman to be drinking this beer, man. Because this is a culture. You're doing these cards for the culture, right? No, black. You said it got saliva, all this that shit is gonna stink, bro. And black women know when shit stink, and it's like 50 feet from their nose. This right here, turning it up to their nose. Oh, that's never gonna work.
It's gonna be in some.
You're gonna go broke with that beer. What else is in it? Saliva. And what else you said? This shit is so secret. You forgot.
Yeah. I think feces, perhaps. I might have said that.
Yeah, you said feces. Yeah, see that right there is when you lose a black woman for sure. Because again, she can smell shit. Soon as she walk into a place, it's nowhere near her nose. This beer that she got to put right up when she turn it. Oh, you can forget. If you had to depend on her for that, you're gonna have to get you another company. Your company going bankrupt, bro.
Bro, so you told me to come up with a mind. Look, give me your mind crusher, bro. That was off the dome too. Nonsense.
Let me hear yours.
Criticize.
You could be coming to you convert yourself to a Muslim, and they tell you that they have an assignment for you.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, it's going to be you on a plane, and you're going to have to blow yourself up, in the name of whatever your cause is. And of course, like you go to heaven from this because you're gonna sacrifice. So you go to heaven and you get like the 6 or 7 virgins and all of that they sincerely believe. You have converted to a Muslim, and you sincerely believe that too, until it's time for you to actually make that move. Okay, are you going through with it still or what?
Sounds a little racist, but let me see. How long have I been in it? I just converted, and they're telling me to.
Man, you converted. Nobody's telling you. You believe. I mean, it's a mission that has to be done because you're trying to, fight against the great Satan. So you know that it's a mission that has to be done. But now you got to make up your mind whether or not you're going to do it because you've converted now, and it doesn't matter how long you feel that, and you're principled by this thing. But now it is really facing you. And so it's a challenge for you to see, man, do I really believe this?
And what was I doing exactly again?
What do you mean, what were you doing? You were supposed to be a suicide bomber.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
It's Islamic, and that based on, man, you asleep, man. You sleep on me, man.
Not sleep. I zoned out on the aspect of...
yeah, but you were calling me a racist, man.
Yeah.
You didn't zone out on that part. But no, I said, that's one of the things, because that is, part of it, right? That if they say that's a sacrifice that they're going to make based on what they believe, and that's your basis for doing that, and also what you're being promised if you make the sacrifice, which is going to heaven and having like 7 virgins. And
I got that part, but I'm saying,
I knew you would get that part.
You were saying
I knew you would get that
the
part.
Islamic aspect of bombing something.
No, the reason why I say that is, I don't know. Some people play games, but in America,
is that their thing? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Even the ones that they admitted to, a lot of times the suicide bombers were Islamic or Middle Eastern. I mean, they were telling you that, so it's public information.
So that just becomes a part of their journey, or how does that come about? Is what I'm trying to get at.
What, did they do that?
Yeah.
Well, it's usually that America, they feel have done something to them, and so in retaliation, they would do something like they did the 9/11, and then before that. There would be different bombings. They did sometimes airport bombings and different kind of stuff like that. And it was just, kind of going tit for tat with the great Satan, America. And so that is what really Middle Eastern people started getting prejudged about. It started in like probably the 80s. Prejudged because people were like, hey, when you go to for instance, you get ready to get on a plane, you see 3 or 4 Middle Eastern people, and especially if they were men, a lot of people were freaking out, at that time, because that's what the news was selling us in terms of who were the perpetrators. Yeah, the perpetrators, man. That was a bad time for Middle Eastern people, man. Just like they say it's a bad time for Jews now in certain universities and shit like that. They said they're attacking Jews. And I want to tell Jewish people something, man, about that. Yeah, the people, they were attacking them. And they hadn't had no news on it lately, but I'm going to tell Jews something, man, because I thought this was interesting. They were asking the one guy, he's like, man, you Jewish, right? They were attacking you? So what do you do? He said he had this Star of David chain on. He goes, I'm going to have to take this off. I was like, wow, okay. Imagine, though, because they never say black people's plight was anywhere. Imagine, what, you going to take off your skin color? Huh? He said, I take off my Star of David. Nobody would know I'm Jewish. Imagine if black people could that easily deal with discrimination and prejudice. Oh, I'll just take off a chain. Get the fuck out of here, man, when they talk about their plight with the Holocaust relative to damn slavery. It doesn't even compare. And then the aftermath of what fucking, the mentality and shit that slavery left for.
Why are you comparing them? Why are you comparing them?
God, man. Because they've always said that, that like the Holocaust was much worse than slavery. And it's like, no way. You could, like this guy, you could think of a way where you could integrate right into the society and change your last name or whatever. But black people, as soon as you walk into a place you dealt with on face value, as soon as you step out of your house.
I can see it.
So it's nowhere near a comparison that they try to make to say that their lives, were affected by their atrocity any more than ours. But anyway, I'm off that soapbox, but I just always thought, gee, you could integrate like that. I wish it was so easy for black people to have integrated like that. By removing the chain or not wearing your hair a certain way, take off a yarmulke or whatever it is. But, man, we've been through a lot. Black people are strong, man. And, shout out to Wendy Williams, man. Shout out to Wendy Williams.
Shout out to Wendy Williams for what?
She going through it, man. She's in, as Grammy would say, she's nuts now.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, she's bad. And she's got, I think, dementia mixed in with it, this and that. And this lately, the people who are taking care of her said, hey, she's taking a turn for the worse, man. She's out, man. So, but yeah, Wendy Williams, man. She was, people used to watch her. She was entertaining, She was in the business. A lot of people.
How old is she?
I think she might be like between like late 60s, maybe. I don't think quite 70s, But they pretty much are saying like at this point she's fried, like, you know what I'm saying? Mm. And yeah, every once in a while I used to watch her show. I think it would be at night or something like that.
You'd be on there, Wendy.
No, I wasn't watching nothing else, man. She was the first one, which I didn't see the episode, but the first one that was talking about P. Diddy being all crazy, punky and shit like that. Yeah. But Wendy, man, yeah. Shout out to Wendy Williams, man. She's a part of everything going down there in the entertainment world. You know what I'm saying? And at some point, you get old, man, and you start dying out like a flower.
That's some of that mental health, man. Some of that mental health.
No, hers is one that's not like self-induced type shit to where, she got no control. You know what I'm saying? It's dementia related and shit like that, man. So, yeah.
I feel like, is that still some mental health, though?
Well, I mean, it's mentally related, but like when I think about mental health and people saying like, well, mental health in terms of like counseling or whatever,
something that you can cure.
That's not something you can go get counseling. No, it's dementia related. Where she's forgetting shit, and she got some other type of shit with that, Parkinson's maybe type of shit that really that is something that hits you. You have no control. You know what I'm saying? Over like. Combating it. When I think of mental health, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think about, people not, being able to function through some kind of cognitive type of thinking that could be dealt with, if you sat down with a counselor or something like that. Mm-hmm. But at this point, yeah, she's far beyond anything like that from what they say. Yeah. But hey, the thing about it, I always say to people, man, that eventually, like I said, people got to go. And the great thing about it is she did something. You know who she is, or who she was anyway, or whatever.
She made her mark.
And so that's what she was meant to come and do. And now it's not her time. You sit back and hopefully, she had enough loot, you know what I'm saying, to where she could live her life out, at least in a respectable manner. You know what I'm saying?
And those illnesses sometimes, just thinking about that, you know what it did, man?
I don't know. And I don't know what, but I don't know what made me just think of Wendy Williams out of the blue. Yeah, but anyway, is it time for the word of the day?
It is time for
the word of the day. Word of the day.
And the word of today? Something you can really put in your bag, I feel like.
Well, my bag is kind of full, but I can always make room if it's worth it.
Yeah, this is just a little something slight on top.
A little something.
The word of today is ferocious.
Oh my God. Ferocious.
And ferocious, most simply defined, extremely fierce, violent, or wild. So hearing the Wendy Williams, I hadn't heard from her in a minute, but I know those diseases that can offset could have some ferocity to them or be kind of ferocious in the attack. I don't know if it's a nervous system or what that is exactly, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, used very descriptively.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. When I think about ferocious, I just think about a bear.
Wild animal, yeah.
I'm programmed to think about a bear because I know somewhere down the line in school, someone read me or I read a story about a ferocious bear.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
And then I learned also that bears are not so ferocious because I was introduced to a little bear named Winnie the Pooh. And Winnie the Pooh wouldn't do shit to you except steal your honey.
Winnie the Pooh was always naked too with his freaky ass. What's wrong with him?
He was always naked?
Yeah, he just had a shirt on, no pants ever.
Was Winnie, was he a male?
I think so.
Yo, that's a punk ass name then.
Winnie?
Yeah. You know why? Because if you were in Africa, you know, the late great Nelson Mandela, his wife's name was Winnie. Huh? So if your name is Winnie, you got to be because I never saw no dick hanging from Winnie the Pooh, man. You said he only had a shirt on Would have to be a dick hanging somewhere.
Freaky man. Yeah.
No, you said he was freaky and he only wears a shirt.
You talking about his
So it had to be Winnie had to be a female. Had to be a female, right?
Perhaps.
No,
I never saw no cheeks. I guess that'd be male.
no
or
cheeks.
female.
Man, look, you just tainted me. You just tainted my thinking of Winnie the Pooh. I didn't even think about the nakedness and only the shirt. I was thinking about the nice little bear and the honey. Come on, you see how people do it? They just taint your thinking and your. Oh man, people like you start wars, man.
My boy just rocked the shirt. Hey, I'm
People
into it.
like you start wars. Man, you just messed me up. Now, whenever I think of, I'm not even gonna be able to tell my grandkids a story about Winnie the Pooh now.
Come on, you can still tell them.
I didn't even realize Winnie the Pooh was naked, man.
You can still tell them about Winnie the Pooh, man. Come on, don't let that mess you up, man.
That shit, man. Come on, go home, man.
Hey, it's old school.
Go apologize to that guy, A.A. Milne.
UNDE,
Was
OG
it A.A.
Lee.
Milne who wrote that, man?
Listen to some
That's
of this Don Mills. I don't know
disrespecting
about
Winnie
A
the Pooh,
Mills.
man.
Don Mills, hey, it's OG
Then you
Lee,
trying to call
UNDE.
Winnie the Pooh
Off the
transgender.
tempo.
How you gonna call Winnie the Pooh
OG Lee,
transgender, man?
UNDE. We out.
Shawty got no choice but to get low. Ain't the tallest, but I'm ballin' like